And Johnny Cash joins us now via satellite from Nashville. Johnny Cash, welcome to Good Day in Boston.
How you doing?
I am doing well, and it's delightful to have a chance to speak to you about a most interesting book about transformation, your own, presumably, transformation. Johnny, can we go back 9 years? What exactly is the change in Johnny Cash's life that he is writing about in this novel, Men in White?
The novel is about the Apostle Paul. Actually, it's about, most of it's about Saul of Tarsus, before his conversion on Damascus Road, before he became Paul the Saint. Now, I relate only in that I had a transformation, but not like his. He was struck blind by the glory of the appearance of Jesus Christ on Damascus Road. But I had a transformation in that I was on mood-altering drugs, addictive drugs, following surgery in Nashville. I agreed to go to Betty Ford Center to learn about my problem, and I learned that it's a genetic disease of chemical dependency, and there are 1 out of 4 or 5 people out there who have that disease if they use mood-altering drugs. There are 3 alternatives: death, incarceration, or prison.
Johnny, why do you think in your life, apart from what you've just said, that you, so successful in our eyes, might have found your way to drugs? What went wrong in your life?
What went wrong? I was just like everybody else. I took drugs to get up, and I took drugs to go down and make me feel better. And people say, why are so many entertainers on drugs or sports figures? There are no more entertainers or sports figures in general than there are people in other walks of life. It's a problem that covers the whole country, and it's a very severe problem right now.
To be sure. I read about you that your father's death, as tragic as that is, and I'm sorry to hear of that news, but that had a positive effect on your life, perhaps.
It did. I was stuck with the book, trying to finish it, and I was stuck with the chapter where Paul has a vision on road to Damascus. And I had a dream-like vision myself, but it was not like his. It was just a dream, but it was a dream of the beyond. And it would take a long time to tell about it, but it had an effect on my writing, so immediately the next day I started writing the chapter called The Illumination, which is about the Damascus Road experience. And then I went to Jamaica, and within the next couple of months I finished it.
There is another person, I appreciate you sharing that with us, there's another person in your life, I imagine, that has had great effect on you, June Carter. Can you speak a little bit about what she has brought you? Smile for the first time, I noticed. What effect has she brought in? Obviously happiness and joy with that nice grin.
Yeah, we've been married 18 years, and June Carter is my biggest critic, first of all. And sometimes she acts like she's a fan, but she tells me when it's right and when it's wrong. And everything I wrote about Paul and Men in White over the period of 9 years, from the time I was just making notes and writing my own commentary and documentary, before I ever thought about even writing a novel, she was criticizing that and telling me which direction it should go. And we're that close. We're friends, and we're sweethearts and lovers, and we're married, and we're happy.
Do you need her as part of your, how should I say this, your spiritual purity? If she were somehow to leave your life, could you sustain that?
Well, it'd be hard, but yes.
You could?
Yes, I could. I think any person would have to say, like my mother lost her mate after 65 years, and she's working every day. And she's a great inspiration to me. If no matter what happened, I would have to go on if I could.
I want to talk to you about music, and one of the things that we always associate with Johnny Cash is Folsom Prison. Clear up a rumor, please. You never served time, did you, Johnny Cash?
No.
Everybody believed that you had.
I've never been convicted of a felony. I've never served time in the prison. There were times back in the 60s when I was rowdy and taking amphetamines and barbiturates that they put me in jail overnight a few times, but that's it.
Where does music come into your life? When did it enter?
Music is my first love. I have a new contract with Polygram Records, and I'm right in the middle of a new album, which will be released in February.
So, but where did it come in? As a boy, as a young man?
When did it come in?
Yes.
From as long as I can remember. When we first got our first radio from a mail order house when I was 4 years old, and I started listening to music and turning that dial and finding that there was a world out there full of music, and I wanted to be a part of it. I always did.
Johnny, I understand that Men in White, the name of your novel, also is a song. Could you give me a little feeling for that song, just a bit of a refrain, if you would?
Well, the song is the story of the book. Yeah, I'll sing you the chorus. Well, the man in white appeared to me in such a blinding light, it struck me down, and with its brilliance took away my sight. Then the man in white, in gentle, loving tone, spoke to me, and I was blinded so that I might see the man in white.
Thank you, Johnny, for that. Listen, one more thing I want to ask, because the book really focuses on people and how they change spiritually, physically, emotionally. There is an episode in your life of being attacked, I believe, by an ostrich in a game preserve.
Yeah.
What is that story, and how does that relate briefly?
Well, that's when that was back in the fall or the summer when I was trying to write the Damascus Road experience, and I was taking a walk through the compound where I have wild animals and birds, and I happened to have 2 ostriches, but one of them froze to death. The female froze to death in the winter, and the male, you know, when you lose your mate, you get kind of weird, you know. So the male, he met me in the road with his wings, and he hissed at me as if he was going to attack, and he's 8 feet tall, or he was 8 feet tall. Well, I decided that I would show him who was boss, so when I came back by, I had about a 6-foot-long pole, and I said, now you stay out of my way, I own this road. So he hissed at me and raised his arms and started toward me, and when he did, I swung at him, and he jumped straight up and came back down with that big, long, sharp toe, which is bigger than my hand as his foot is, and he hit me in the chest and broke 3 ribs, and my belt stopped him from ripping me wide open, and when I fell, I broke 2 ribs in the back. And I kept swinging, though, and must have hit him in the leg or something. He ran off, but he got me down. But he was going to kill me. And in a sentence, what effect has that had on you besides being utterly terrifying? Part of a transformation? Part of Johnny Cash's change? Yeah, it was, well, it was the bad part of the change. It started, I had to have narcotics for the pain, for the broken ribs.